Video is taking over the internet. This is why TikTok has such an incredible power to create impact stories. These media giants have already taken over TikTok. Will you be next?
What is up, everyone? Happy Friday night. I hope you had a fantastic week. I hope your businesses went great. I hope your lives went great. If you are watching, comment what is one thing you're grateful for and where in the world are you watching from today? Sip of water real quick. All right, guys, I am super excited to talk to you about storytelling. Now, the reason that I'm really excited to talk to you about storytelling is because stories have had such a powerful part, or played a powerful part, I should say, in my life. To give you a little context, I grew up in a household where I'm the oldest of 4 children. So I was born first. My parents were really young because they had me first. So like 21, 20 years old were how old my parents were when they had me. And they really just tried to give me the absolute world. I'm super, super blessed to have amazing parents, and they gave me tons of books. I remember my dad reading to me. I don't know how old I was because my memories don't have ages really connected with them, right? But I can remember my dad reading to me every night. I remember what books he read. We had these big, I think were they like Dr. Seuss books. They were like compilation books that had like Yertle the Turtle and I can't even remember all the names of these wonderful Dr. Seuss stories, right? Whatever the name of the elephant one, that one's great. If you're watching, comment what's your favorite Dr. Seuss story, if you can remember. And that played a really big part in terms of like my imagination development at a young age, but also in terms of my love for, the emotional connection that we share through storytelling. That's what makes storytelling so powerful, is that it creates this incredibly powerful emotion that we feel the bonds of. We feel the connection with that emotion between us and some other person, some other real human being. And this is why businesses are starting just now to pay attention to video in such a sincere and real way, where they go, wow, we could become more than just what we're selling. We could become more than just the service we're providing. We could become something greater by sharing our story, by sharing our message. So I just want to share a couple things that can help you guys with your storytelling. And I really want each and every one of you watching to understand that you do have a story. You might be thinking, my life's not very interesting. I'm not that special. And the reality of it is that you are. Your unique experience as a human being is so fascinating, so full of value that you possibly can't even see, right? There's probably so much value to your life that you just cannot see because you are on the inside. You are not on the outside to be aware of it. And the more that you can really share your story, that's what it allows you to do. It allows you to attract people. It allows you to attract opportunities that are based off the value that you inherently have, and you're just putting it out there. You're not putting it out there with a purpose to get something. You're not putting it out there with some particular intent. You say, I'm sharing my story because it's me, it's important to me, and usually there's some other why or purpose connected to your story or driving your story. But that brings so much amazing energy into your life in many different formats, right? Everything's just a form of energy, you guys. Money is a form of energy. Happiness is a form of energy. Health is a form of energy. And you're able to attract, honestly, all of these things, as crazy as it might sound, by sharing your story, by sharing the story of you personally, by sharing the story of your family, by sharing the story of your friends, community, businesses, all the different people that you're connected to, by sharing those stories. Let's see, we got a couple people watching who I want to shout out. You guys are all amazing for tuning in on a Friday night. I know that Friday is one of the more dead days. In case you didn't know, social media tips. Friday tends to be one of the more dead days on social media. People are like, I made it through the week. I'm going to slack off on Friday, so they don't go as hard on their social media typically. So I really appreciate you guys We got someone here from Seattle. It doesn't show me your name on StreamYard. Drop your name from Seattle if you're watching. We got Samiur. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sure I butchered it. From Bangladesh. That's awesome. We got Susie from Irving, Texas. Jamie, what's good from New Zealand. We got Laura. We got Ken from Washington. Oh, I love all my Washingtonians. You guys are phenomenal. Real quick. Called this water earlier. It's actually a dry sparkling soda. I really like these. How many of you guys have tried these dry products before? They're very lightly sweetened. So the whole thing only has like 11 grams of sugar versus a normal soda, which is usually like 30 to 70 grams. I like sweetness, but just in small capacities. Laura says her story was that she's bullied as a child because of being bullied. Let's see. Oh, you were a bully as a child because of being bullied. That is the classic scenario, right? You experienced imposter syndrome, which started then in Chicago. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. You know what? I think almost every child has been part of the bullied or bully system at some point, right? I'm not saying maybe on a regular basis, but certainly every child has been at some point in a situation where other people were making fun of them or making them feel less than. And consequently, because of peer pressure in society, almost every kid also has been in the situation where they're part of the group perpetrating those things. And I think that honestly, that's kind of a beautiful thing because it means by nature, we all are connected through experience, through shared experience. And that leads right back into storytelling, right? Is to think no matter what you've been through, that there's gonna be other people who share that experience in some way, whether they share part of the emotional experience, whether they share part of the actual physical experience, like maybe that same physical thing happened to them. Maybe you got stabbed in the face and they got stabbed in the face. Or maybe they got stabbed in the face and you experienced something else that you experienced those same emotions that they went through. And you're able to know that, again, through the way they shared their story. So the way you share your story is a really powerful way to connect people to you, to attract people to you, to form bonds in relationships that are very meaningful. So how can you tell a good story? What makes a good story? Classically, there's 5 elements of a story. There's setting, hopefully I can get all these right, setting, character, the obstacle, that's not what it's usually called, but the obstacle, the solution, and then 5th element, someone fill me in here. But there's 5 simple, you can look them up on Google, guys. 5 simple elements of a story, and making sure you have at least 3 of those elements at all times. I'm not saying, because right, there's like really short form storytelling now with TikTok, which is different than, let's say, a YouTube video or a 5-minute long video or even a 1-minute long video. You can have a really strong all 5 of those elements. In 10 seconds, sometimes maybe you can only have 3. But having at least 3 of those elements in every message that you're sending out, you guys, especially when it comes to Instagram, when it comes to LinkedIn as a platform, when it comes to YouTube, even if you're giving information, even if you're giving informational talk or video, to contextualize it in the atmosphere of a story or storytelling, to give it characters, to create setting through, let's say, an intro or cuts in where you're doing some narration, right? There's like a lot of ways that you can use video editing tools and technology to assist in storytelling. But I'd say that, the key component, you guys, is emotion. You want to tap into emotion as strongly as possible. And you're going to do this, again, by creating stories that are relatable and relevant to people, that they can see some part of their life or themselves in that story. Those are the stories we love the most. The ones where there's a hero who has some characters like us, so we can see ourselves as the hero. Because I really do believe that, you guys, that each and every one of you is the hero to your own story. And each of us is writing a novel. Each of us is writing an amazing saga, a book, a legend. And we get to decide what that looks like. We get to decide what every page as it turns, the context of that. Like, we don't get to decide what our genes are, what our DNA is, right? Some of us are born where we're going to get cancer, and some of us are born where we're going to live to 120. That's just how that's going to happen. What we do get to control is what that story looks like, right? Your book might be 60 pages, your book might be 300 pages. How many pages it has does not determine how great a book it was. And for me, in the life I'm living, I just want to write a really, really good book. I don't get to determine how many pages I'm going to get. What I have to focus on is this page right now, today. What can I do with this page that I'm given that really is here tangible to me? And then at the same time, if I can think to the end of the chapter, how can I plan a little bit now, just a little bit right now, so that the rest of this chapter ends in an amazing way? And again, there's going to be things that come in that you don't expect, that you can't possibly foresee or predict or prevent. But those are the things that honestly and truly make your story great. The things that we have to adapt to, the things that force us to be creative beyond what we imagined we could possibly be, the things that force us to be stronger, kinder, better leaders than we thought ourselves possible. Those are the things that make a really, really great story. So I hope to leave this with you guys. I hope you think about the story that you're writing, what you've written so far as being really just a preamble to the best chapters, the best parts of your story, the best parts of your life. And if you guys, as always, need to hit me up, please do reach out through LinkedIn, through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you find Maayan Gordon. Have a great night, guys.